Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. This is for my YouTube followers. I hope you guys are being safe in the midst of this coronavirus that's going around. So I just wanted to make a quick live to let you guys know while now is the time for you to clean up your credit. And the reason is this, the coronavirus itself is not going to be the major issue after all is said and done. The major issue is going to be the economy uh, going into a recession. And, you know, God's honest truth, some of these business that close their doors may not reopen their doors. So if you're in an industry where you know that this could make a difference in your employment, begin to, number one, deal with your credit issues. Start while you're in quarantine. Take the time to see what's going on with your credit. What issues are going on with your credit. Now is a great time to write those letters or to learn the knowledge and information to send your letters off to the credit bureaus if you have issues or to a collection company. So it might actually play into your advantage if they can't respond back, to be honest with you, if they close down. So now is a excellent time to do that. Another thing, get your financial house in order. If there's some things that you can cut back on, begin to do that. Um, a lot of people right now don't feel the pinch as bad because they have their tax money, their tax returns, and then when they'll get this check from the government or the stimulus package, then this will make this person, sometimes they'll believe they have money that they really don't have. That money is already pre-accounted for. And here's the thing that they're not telling you. They're saying, okay, you don't won't have to pay your rent or whatever for 60 days, your mortgage. But what they're not telling you, when it comes down to the mortgages, they're talking about federally backed mortgages. And also they're talking about rentals tied to those federally backed mortgages. Now, I don't know how as a tenant you're going to find out uh, what mortgage or type of mortgage your landlord has. And of course, certain states, the court system is closed down. But eventually, you guys, it's going to come a cutoff. And if you're not currently working and they begin to want their money and everything get reactivated, how are you going to pay your bills? Start to see if it's something that you can do, a business that you can start, a service that you can start. You might have an elderly person that needs their lawn cut, and that might just simply take you buying a lawnmower. Or if you have a lawnmower, gas prices are down, and that's a whole nother thing that they're not really talking about. With the price of oil being so low between the war between Saudi Arabia and Russia over these oil prices, certain states, people can lose their jobs, or they should. It's looking like if they keep going with this, people are going to be laid off. How you doing, Dave? Thank you for tuning in, and also Street Baby. Thank you so much for tuning in. And so, if you're in these industries and there's other industries attached to those industries in that state, you want to start positioning yourself to put yourself at a better advantage of not being tied down with debt. So if it's something that you can really maneuver for yourself, it could possibly even take you move into a more affordable apartment. Who knows? Keep your credit, you guys. Whatever you do, try to limit your spending, your cost of living, whatever you need to do in order to position yourself in a good position so this doesn't overtake you. Because unfortunately, a lot of us, why we have credit problems, it was because of cash flow, because of job loss. And it unfortunately looked like, how you doing? Hey, what's up? A lot of people are going to see their jobs go away, or some of these businesses that close their doors may not be reopening. So make sure that once you get your credit score to a 680, try to start yourself a business to access business credit, because this is where they're going. They're going to, the reason that the majority of the stimulus is going to corporations and not the people on the ground level, as we see that they're going to help basically bail out the airline companies. And the airline companies, the whole time while they were making profits, we see that they were doing stock buybacks. So the CEOs can manipulate the stock so they can have higher value on their options to make an illusion that the stocks were worth more than what they really were. So all my people that love the stock market, this is why I don't deal in it, because it's manipulated all the time. So the stocks that you're paying for, just like those senators, since the stock market was such a great investment, it's amazing that Senator Byrd will want to sell like $3 million worth of stocks. And Senator Kelly want to sell her stocks like that. Why wouldn't they want to keep those stocks? Why would they be dumping them like a hot potato before they got wind? Why didn't they just ride it out like they tell you guys to do? Ride it out. Anybody? Why not ride it out? It's going back up. Allegedly. Come on. Let's be 100% and honest. Let's be honest here. Most of these corporations is debt. They've been running off of debt. Corporate debt is the highest that it's been. All of that was a debt. Was the stock market itself had a bubble, and what this is going to be is a correction. So, playing in these stock markets, now they done robbed you of your time and your labor. You had that 401k there, and a lot of people that's close to retirement, now what they're going to do? They just lost thousands upon thousands of dollars. They're going to have to work longer if their job is still there, if they can find another job. Now, they're playing with your time. Time is the only commodity that you can't get back. And now, oh, you lost money. And I want to dare you to try to pull your money out and see if they don't hit you with that 401k penalty. I'm just asking a question. Why would I invest in that? Why would I put, as being a lower level person, and they have controls over the numbers and what they're doing? They control and dominate the whole system. Why would I play that game? I'm like Grant Cardone. If I can't drive up to it, I don't want it. So that's why I say silver, gold, and real estate. So if they steal your land, they can't hide your land. You know a piece of real estate is going to be there. But they manipulate those markets all the time. And like I said, the money, or what we call money, which is currency, already is dead. And then to add on with those options, instead of them taking that money, they got big tax breaks and put it back into the economy to buy more jobs, create more jobs, buy more equipment, doing more, building more production companies, whatever, adding back into the economy. No, they bought back their own stock. And I see in the airports nothing but kiosks. You don't see people working. You got to darn near be the flight attendant and agent yourself. You got to pull your bag up, put the tag on your bag, and now they just basically have somebody standing right there and you putting your bag up there. You got to print out your own ticket. Where's the jobs? Mostly all you're dealing with people is when you're going through TSA. And they've been charging you since 2007, 2004, when they said that the oil prices were so high, and they was manipulating that too. But that's neither here nor there. That the oil prices was high, so we got to charge you for back just for a little while. For a little while, oil prices went down, and now they charging you $50 that way, $50 back. You're spending $100 just part of the system as part of the flight, your bags. But they took all of that, and not only they see a corresponding with their buybacks with them borrowing, so they actually borrow more money to buy back their own stock and to manipulate the system. Yeah, and so now most of the stimulus packages is going trillions of dollars to bail them out. But they're still announcing they're laying off jobs. And this is what a lot of these stock companies was doing their own buybacks to make an illusion that the stock was worth more than what it actually was. So I say all of this to say the banks are cutting their interest rates to encourage more businesses. Try to get your credit together. At least get to a 680 and try to start yourself a business. Be careful what industry that you're going into, because as we can see, probably restaurants, industries like that, it might not be a lot of lending, but if you can do a consultant business, being an advisor in some kind of way, position yourself where personal lending, you're probably going to see a crunch because they know people are losing their jobs. So it might be more scrutinization when it comes down to your assets, or even for your credit history and your income. So on the personal side, try to position yourself to the business side. And also, when it comes down to your personal finances, you guys need to try all your best to reduce it. Don't with the cars, don't with the now is not the time to get in more debt, because eventually, you guys, you're going to have to pay the piper. And how they're saying that the mortgages don't have to be paid. What they're not really putting out there, those are federally backed mortgages. I call my mortgage company, and they kindly want their late charges and everything else, because if you have a conventional loan, they're not talking to you, and you're going to take this L. Either way, you're going to take this L on your credit report, so you better pay your mortgage either way it goes. And then what they're saying about the evictions, that's connected to federally based mortgages. How are you supposed to know what kind of mortgage your landlord have? If it's a Freddie Mac, if it's a FHA mortgage, how do you get that information? You don't. So just be wise, you guys. Try to tighten your belts as much as possible. Start a business. Work your 9 to 5 if you still have one, but also start your business in the evening. Take and create advantage of tax breaks, because they're robbing you of your wealth. You're going to work, and they take half or a big chunk from the door before you even get it. And then they turn around at the end of the year and say, hey, you didn't pay us enough taxes. What do you mean? You've been taking my tax the whole time. I didn't even touch the money. You owe us more. So this is why the wealthy, always the base they talk about is not paying taxes. This is why that's all they preach. And look what they did when they didn't pay taxes. Look at the airlines. They took that money, and instead of putting it back into the economy, putting it back for more jobs, all they did was buy back more of their stocks so the CEOs and all those at the top, so their options can be more valuable. And that's how they work. That's how they work. So y'all can have that part of the stock market for me. Boop to the boop, boop, boop. No for me. But I will say this. One thing you must pay attention to. You got to follow the money trail. And one thing a lot of people that I see will say, I ain't worried about my kids. My kids grown. That's interesting. Trump worried about his kids and how much more money they can get. Yeah. Which you said they're able to tax our face off. Exactly. Exactly. But they're going to make sure they're going to teach their kids on how to avoid paying taxes. They're going to teach their children how to come into their business. Why don't the rich never get enough money that they going to glide and just sit idle? They don't do that. Hillary worried about Charlotte. Hillary worried about Chelsea. Ain't nobody ever said that you don't hear them. Oh, I ain't worried about my grown kid. No, they trying to grab more bags for their grown children. And the rich constantly are looking for avenues to get more and more wealth. Where sometimes you talk to average, oh, I work so hard during the week. If you learn how to invest, you ain't got to work. Oh, I don't need all that. I'm just chill. They look like they need all of that and more. And they don't never ease up. They don't never say, Mom, you too grown. You do it. No, they learn how to work together, and then they train and equip their children on how to take on and how to take on their business and how to work in that. And then they learn how to remove their names from these businesses. Like Trump told you, I ain't never filed for bankruptcy. Not me personally. No, because he had his businesses filed for bankruptcy, and they control that. And don't be surprised that some of them ain't getting them going to get a stimulus check. Don't be surprised, because this is what estate planning is about. Why they do charitable remainder trusts, why they do trusts, and they're the beneficiary to use this stuff and it not be action. They get to use all the benefits, but none of the downsides, none of the tax liabilities do they get, because I don't own it. I'm just a beneficiary. So a lot of those senators, well, not senators, but a lot of the wealthy, they found out was receiving Social Security checks. I think it was some of them senators too, receiving Social Security checks. And like I said, the stock market is so great. It's so great. But you got Senator Burns and her name was Senator Kelly. They just dumped all that great stock before things got hot. Why didn't they sit there and ride it out like they tell you to do? Ride it out. Now they got that information and made a phone call. Why they ain't tell them to ride it out? Why they ain't ride it out? They tell you to ride it out. It's the greatest thing since sliced cake. That's what they tell you. Why they ain't let their money sit there and go back up like they telling you? No, they ain't boo-boo the fool. They got their money and got up out of there. That's what they did. And put that right on in their bank account and sold it. But they tell the sheep, oh, you leave your money there. Well, why you ain't leave your money there? It's going to come back up. Why? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And all they going to do It's like they doing now when people lose their jobs. The banks print more money, and what they come do is swipe up your assets. You don't have a job anymore, so they robbed you of your time. You've been paying your mortgage the whole time, paying the interest, and now they say, "Hey, you can't work fast enough," as they print it. Sheriff said, "Here we go with the money I print to take your money. I mean, take your asset, your home." So you got to make sure that you play the game they play. It is available for everybody to play, but you have to take the time and pay attention and educate yourself, educate your family. And it could start with you. And I know it was somebody on YouTube, and they were saying, I mean, on Facebook, unfortunately, we don't train our families, or our families don't work together. But you could be the person that starts that. You could be the person that educate everyone. You just take the time, and you learn the information so you can pass it on. So make sure, y'all, more than ever, start you a business. Somebody has to hold the bag. Somebody has to hold the bag. And you don't want it to be you. Remember that musical Cheers? You don't want to be the man out without a chair, or a hot potato. You don't want to be the one holding that little bean bag. You know, you just, not everybody is going to take this message. We all know that. Not everybody, but it is somebody that is going to realize this could be a blessing in disguise, that they lose their job. This might actually put you where God really wants you to be, in your own natural talent. And just in this time, focus and see. Innovation always come out of downturns. You might be the next Steve Jobs. You might be the next Bill Gates. Who knows with what innovation that you've been sitting on. Just try to solve a problem. And remember, the bigger problem you can solve, the more money that is in that industry for you. So what problem can you solve? Start there and think about that. Even if you currently have a job, what other means of revenue can I start for myself? So if this go down, I got some other things going. So that's my current situation. If things slow down, I have something else in place. And unfortunately, I work for the banking system, and we had a meeting, and not the banks itself, but some of the contractors. We had a phone meeting, and they already know after July, oh, our industry is going up. You know, we gotta do that. That it's like they know it. They say, hey, we need more people on board. We know that more houses are going to get behind on their mortgages, and they're ready for that now. So start with seeing, just by starting and doing another business. Generate some money into that, even if it's $1 or $2, $5. Then next year that'll line you for a tax write-off. But you have to make money. But you take that to your accountant and ask your accountant, what is the best way for me to position myself to benefit, or to get some of the money that I paid into the system back with this business? How should I position myself so next year they're just not eating you alive in the tax rate? And so make sure you guys work smarter, not harder. Teach your family how to work smarter, gain assets, not harder. So hopefully this will propel you to start to look at things serious. I don't care what it is. If your job is flowing, begin to start tightening up the reins. Just look at your spending. Even if you have to reduce where you're living in order to have a dollar saved is a dollar earned. Maybe you need to move somewhere else, pay cheaper rent. Just position yourself. So if you are going to use your credit to gain assets in this time, make sure that your income is up to par so you could be put in place. And you can now play the game that the wealthy play. So thank you all for riding with me today, tuning in. I hope you guys have a blessed and productive day.